Good morning, YouTube. What's up, guys? Today we're doing the daily puzzle for September 27th. Let's do it. Alright, so here we are with white to move, as usual. This looks like it's kind of tricky. I guess we could think of ideas like King H7. Pawn push, then pawn push, and then eventually black pushes first, we push next, and it is a queen and a knight and a pawn versus a queen and a pawn, and that's okay. But that would most likely be a draw, and I guess that's not what we're aiming for. Maybe we can aim for something better. I see we have this knight in the corner. I think we might use it. I think that's what the tactic is saying, basically, that we're going to use this knight. And, though it's on a, unexpected square, extraordinary square, whatever you want to call it, though it's on that square, it's eventually going to save the day and maybe win this pawn. But how? It looks so far away. Well, what may look far away is actually closer in reality. You always see that in the mirror every day while driving, right? Well, kind of applies with chess. So how can we use this knight to jump all the way and make sure that the black pawn, doesn't promote on this square B8? Or is it G1? Yeah, G1. How can we prevent it from promoting to G1? Well, what we can do is we can play first, sacrifice that pawn. Notice the king took, which is good because now we can play knight to b6. After knight to b6, knight to c4, check. King has to move. Now, simply knight to e3, check again. And now we could jump to this nice square where this pawn cannot promote. So this knight jump from a8 all the way to g2. Quite a success, right? Well, not yet. We still have to worry about this pawn now, right? What can we do about that pawn? Well, I'd say we have to move the king, right? Because we want to promote this pawn as well, right? I mean, this knight is defending against this pawn. This king has to move it away and promote to a queen as soon as possible. It's a battle of the promotion, just like daily puzzle number 55. So, what do we do in this one? Where do we move our king? This is the specific question we should be asking. Do we move it to h5, h6, h7? We surely don't want to move it to g7 because that just, same result, just blocking the pawn from promotion. We might want to move it to f6 or f7. Which one? Which of these five? I think those are the candidate moves that we have narrowed it down to, and we have to choose one. We can maybe even, I'm thinking king f6. I like king f6 because that blocks the king from coming here. But I feel like this is a really strong tactic. I feel like maybe this goes deeper, and maybe the one move that our king plays decides the, result of the game. So what do we play? I'm gonna go with king f6. That was incorrect. Alright, is it any of these three? Alright, so we've narrowed it down to one. That is king f7. Interesting. So what does this do? What's the difference between king f6 and king f7? I mean, they both have the same objective, right? Allowing our pawn to promote. And notice we promote faster, right? Oh, I think I see it. Yes. So this king, now, what it's doing is it has a key role in not blocking the queen's path. The queen, what it's going to do is it's going to jump to g6, and just in case if the king moves to e5, the queen now has the capability of going to e6. Once the king was on f6, the queen could no longer go to e6 to check that king. So it would have been a completely different result. But I think it's check here. Yeah, that's correct. And notice that king only had like, I think it was like 5 options. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And black chose king to f3. Interesting. Now, if you guys know your rudiments, chess rudiments, you guys know what a skewer is. And basically, you see this king and this queen lined up on a diagonal. And if we check, for instance, play the move queen h5, it will check the king, but in the very next move, we can immediately capture the queen. And there's no way that black can protect this queen, as it would have to stay on the same diagonal it is checked in. So therefore, I guess black's best move would be taking this knight, and then we would take this queen. Also notice, this pawn, we're lucky to have this pawn on the g file. You know, if it was on the f file, and it was black to move, it would be a problem, because black would just push, and this would be a draw. Just a mini lesson here. If black has a king and a pawn right next to each other, and it's 1 square away from promoting, meaning that it's in the 7th rank, then there are some possibilities it might be a draw, there's some possibilities it might be a win, or a loss for black, and a win for white. So what are the possibilities it would be in a draw? It would result in a draw. The possibilities are by either having a pawn on the a file, c file, f file, or h file. So in other words, if the pawn's on a7, c7, f7, and h7, and the king is right next to it, protecting it, or, you know, either it's on the side, whatever it is a draw. It is a draw. And the white queen must be behind the king, but we don't have to go into logistics. Let's just say for now, it is a draw. If the pawn, however, is on a g7, e7, d7, or b7, it is a win. And if you guys want to see that, please comment below. You know, I'll explain how or why it's a draw. I mean, I bet there are several videos that explain it. I can explain it as well. If you guys want me to, you know, please comment below and I'll reach out to you. But for now, we'll just say that this is a clear win, considering the fact that even if this black king wasn't in front of this pawn, it would move to g7, which is one of the squares I mentioned that were a win for white or a loss for black. So this is completely winning for white. Notice in the analysis, okay, let's go in the analysis of the puzzle. Because, I mean, this is a really good, I mean, I'd say like this is well above like 2200 tactic. For a daily puzzle, it's pretty good. Very rare. Alright, so here notice the king moved to f7. Notice that variant f7 instead of f6. And notice while promoting, while this check continued on, like while white checked black's king, you know, black had 5 options, one of which were f6, in which the tactic proceeded on. But let's try the other moves. Actually, black only has 4 moves. I missed out that it cannot go to d6 as it's still in check. So d5. If d5, again, there's a vertical skewer. We can play queen to d6. This is a clear win. If king to what's this? It's d5. Then knight e3 check. Notice there's a fork by the king and the queen. If the king simply moves up, now notice our king was going to be on f6, but we moved it to f7 instead because of the move queen to e6. Now we have the opportunity to move to e6, and there's only 1 square that black can go to, and that again results in the vertical skewer. So either way, we win the queen by default, and this is easily won by white. Alright, I hope you enjoyed that puzzle. Again, please reach out to me if you guys like to learn about pawn promotions. I might make a video about it. Just
comment down below, like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.